So, how to speedrun to get a recording of the Aurora, if that's what you want to do. So basically, you start off with custom. And you set it to Pilgrim, right? I would say start at dawn, clear, indoor spawns, yes. Don't forget, the whole point of this is we want to get to the Mindful Cottage so that I could record the Aurora for that concert I put together. So we'll switch off the blizzards, we'll have that. And this is worth looking at the custom screens to see what you can do. And we want it high. You notice there's an endless light option, night option. So this is the easiest, and you can die still doing this. So this is all the stuff that you can. This is to make it absolutely So the other thing for a speedrun type of thing, switch off the predators. I suffocated in the mine. Right. So that is setting everything to absolute easiest you can do. And then specify over here. And then we want the Forsaken Airfield. I used up, I think it was 4 or 5 filters in the respirator. They go down far faster than I would have expected. I honestly didn't know that there would be a suffocation risk. I thought the respirator was there for poison gas, not suffocation. So technically, yeah, it's a little bit awkward. So, and I'm going to activate my feats. Those are all the feats that I've got. So I've really tilted things in my favor. Now, bear in mind, I wouldn't recommend anybody play the game this way, but you know, you could. It's up to you. I mean, I would recommend. What would I recommend? Voyageur, I think, is a reasonably good balance between risk to life and availability of stuff. Interloper is just horrible. Like I say, I've done 2 different live streams of Interloper, and it was a nightmare both times. And that corresponds to 6 6 attempted runs. But so confirm. I don't care about the trader. So This is how I got the Aurora recording. That's the Aurora in the game, not the Aurora Concert. And I have no idea where I am. Where am I? He can't sprain himself so you can afford to gallop. Ah, gotcha. So if you want to dash to where we're going, a little bit of knowledge of where everything is, even this early in the game, is profoundly useful. Again, the whole point of this is get to somewhere where you want to be in a hurry with very little risk. Nonetheless, to get that recording, and if you haven't seen the Aurora meets Aurora, have a look at it. It's kind of fun. But even with this easy level, you've got to bear in mind you still need food, you still need clothing, because what you're preparing for is maybe half an hour of screen recording time where you can't move. So you need to tilt the odds in your favor. It actually took me 4 attempts to get that recording. It's not ideal, but it's okay. In fact, during one of those attempted recordings, I did in fact die during it. Even at this easy level, I did die of exposure during the recording, which I wasn't happy about. So what we want is enough clothing and enough food to get what we need, and you end up running a lot. And we want the clothing height that is hopefully here. So we got to get enough of everything. So search the suitcases. Search the suitcases. So, in essence, there is even a trick to doing this.
This'll come in handy.
You don't need flare shells, really. You don't have any particular... You're not in any huge danger, except from the weather. The weather is your biggest danger at this point. Oops. So you need clothing and you need food, and like I say, even though I'm basically cheating, you still kind of have to know what you're doing a little bit. And you need water. And you need to know the map. It is an interesting way of actually doing rapid exploring if that's what you want. Right. And we will want to spend some time fixing stuff up. You want to get that warmth bonus as high as you decently can. And you will probably want to do some fixing in the process. But you also have to bear in mind you actually have a reasonably limited amount of time to do all this. So you end up doing a lot of running.
This'll come in handy.
Food and clothing, that's what we're after. We don't care about anything else. Oh, I forgot. I do need tinder. It is kind of interesting that despite the easy level, you still have to have certain things that you're bearing in mind. You still need cloth.
There's got to be something useful in here.
You don't need flare shells. Not going to need those. Don't need that, don't need that. We will need cloth. We will definitely need cloth because we're going to try and repair what we can. Water, so if I can avoid, don't care about that, nor that. Oh, I don't want that. I will drop stuff. So, gallop off to the hangars. And I should check the cars too while I'm at it. You're not going to be doing any hunting. You're not going to be doing anything like that. This is purely get to where you're going as fast as possible.
That'll come in handy.
You don't need flares. I don't care about secrets. And strangely enough, even though this is easy, it's made easier by the fact that I've spent time here. And so if you want to do something like this yourself, for whatever purpose, knowledge of the game... I didn't need that. Knowledge of the game is still important. Where to go, what to get. Listen to me sounding like I know what I'm doing. Don't need the thermos, although that is useful, but not this time.
I could use this.
No, we don't need flares. you do want to check everything. You gotta get that store of food up as fast as you can.
Could end up being useful.
Don't think I need that, to be honest, but we'll check it. Take it anyway. Now, I have to tell you, I don't recommend doing this anywhere except in places you've already been for some daft purpose like this. And let's face it, this is a really daft purpose. But who knows? You may want to take your own recordings of stuff in the game, and this is one way to allow you to do it. Oops, forgot to check that.
I think I
Don't
can
need
use this.
painkillers. Yeah, I am gonna definitely need cloth because I got to repair stuff. And I can't remember if I've got. Did I pick if I have a sewing kit?
Plant fuel.
Might need
Could be
that.
useful.
No.
Hope I can still eat this.
So for the benefit of the people who have joined us, I did in fact start out searching, entering the mine as promised, and I died. And what I'm therefore doing, just as a bit of a filler, is show how to speedrun to achieve a recording of the Aurora. And this is how I did it.
This stuff will come in handy.
Don't need the hacksaw? Don't think so, at any rate. Do need cloth. Get as much cloth as you can for this particular exercise. Don't need that.
This will come in handy.
Don't need that, because I'm not going to be hunting anything. Yeah, this is just a bit of light-hearted messing around, and I will start a Stalker run tomorrow. And in case anybody's saying, didn't you say you'd do Interloper? Yes, in fact, I have tried Interloper 6 times now, in 2 separate live streams. So, what I have determined is Interloper is, I won't say it's practically impossible. I know people have done extensive Interloper runs. But getting a good start is what you really depend on. You can literally do everything perfectly and still die.
could use this.
Oh, that's a funny thing to find here. That is really funny. The good news is when you get to Drift Cottage,
Is it food or...
there's resources there. As well. Right. Dash in. Yes, I know. That is hilarious. I mean, that was really funny after all that. Right, and then the next time you start, you find that... So one thing you are going to want to do in this kind of speedrun, although calling it a speedrun really... You know, it is. Nonetheless, you have a limited amount of time to achieve what you want to achieve. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Never mind. Yeah, trying to recapture my thought. You don't have unlimited time. You've got to... I think you can pretty much grab enough for 3 or 4 days.
Hope I can still eat this.
And like I say, this is all for a whole single purpose, you know. This is a cheaty Aurora run, I call it. Don't want the flashlight. And I want to go down into the basement. Did I at least pick up one flare? That will be useful. I do. Good. Because I do want to go into the basement.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
And honestly, after the deep trauma which I am clearly expressing, having a light-hearted run like this is good for the soul or spirit. Like I said, I think you've got to mentally prepare yourself. Look at that, there's salt there. Food. That's useful. Nope, we don't want that right yet. Grab that last thing I do. Don't really need coal. I don't think I need lantern fuel, but I might get it anyway. Water. Grab a recycle can because you probably will want to do that. I don't need all that coal. Accelerant is handy. Okay, now I can grab the cloth. And with my luck, I won't even have found... Okay. That was relatively quick. And it is... At this point, you've got a decision to make. And what I want to do is see whether I picked up... I did. Okay, that is vital because we are going to be spending time fixing our clothing. Now I've got two choices. I can do it now, or I can... What I can also do is drop stuff I don't need. Don't need that. I don't need the fishing tackle. Coffee you might need, yes. The stim possibly useful. Don't really need the magnifying glass, but I'll keep it anyway. Honestly, I don't think I need that. Food, 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 food. Bandages. Don't really need bandages. And don't need the firewood. Right. Like I say. So, the sane thing to do would probably be go to the bedroom and fix up my clothes while I can. Actually, I still need to search up there, don't I? And we will need all this cloth. We'll need the leather. And yes, I know, I end up rushing around like a stabbed rat. With apologies to rats. I don't.
This is really useful.
And to be honest with you, this seems kind of frivolous. You know, this little exercise.
I have to leave something behind.
But I'll tell you what, I put a lot of effort into... Don't need that. I put a lot of effort into putting that combination of the Aurora Borealis in the long dark and music from the Norwegian artist Aurora. In fact, it's the concert music from Sky Children of the Light. And I thought I'd be funny to put the two together. The things, until you actually do them, you don't necessarily appreciate. And I'm not trying to, blow my own trumpet. The things that creators get up to in order to achieve something, so that they got they got something they can put on YouTube. It can be quite surprising until you actually do it yourself. You don't necessarily realize. And one thing I don't think I've really seen is... I don't think you see too many creators actually explain how they do stuff. So this is my little gift, so to speak, to show how I actually did something.
Could end up being useful.
Nope, that goes outside. Bedroom's down here, so we will skip along to the end and come back. Oh yeah,
Wonder
this
who
is the
owns
kitchen.
this stuff.
Cooking pot is actually useful. Cooking oil you don't need. You're basically after food and clothing. And actually, it doesn't matter if we get fogged in, because I will show you how we navigate. You can navigate the Forsaken Airfield if you know where you're going, barely being able to see anything. Right. And yeah, I know, I can barely see a thing.
This'll come in handy.
And if you're lucky, hey Bob, if you're lucky, you can actually arrange things so that you don't actually have to do anything like make more water.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
You just have to put up with his complaints a lot. Yeah. And it doesn't matter that he's slow. Don't worry about that. Don't really think you need bandages. But you might need the newsprint. You don't need a stim. You need... Don't know whether you really need that one, to be honest with you. And now... we just sleep through the night. First thing in the morning, we repair everything. We got our clothing up to scratch as fast as we can. And then hopefully we've got time to dash off to the final goal. And I've been going for an hour. My goodness. All right. So I am going to give you a brief intermission while I go exercise my bladder. And I will be back shortly. tell you what, it's actually nice to do something frivolous like this for a change. There's no stress, there's no panic. Well, not that I get into panic anyway, but you know what I mean. Panicking isn't generally my style. Generally. Not always, generally. Interesting thing about this is I can actually just oh, I thought it allowed me to do that. Never mind. You can still die. You can definitely still die.
All I can think about is food.
Right, now we need to get our clothing ready for the next run. This may take actually a surprising amount of the day, which is why, yeah. In my experience, it's I have actually made it from Transfer Pass to Drift Island in one run because I didn't go via the airfield. In terms of attempting to record the Aurora, I got one where I did get a recording and I didn't like it, but I couldn't re-record. Because the important thing to bear in mind is you get an autosave on status change. So when I did that first recording, I got a status change and I couldn't reload and retry. So the second time, or third time, I can't remember now, I died. So that recording was useless. Fourth time, third time, I can't remember what happened. And the fourth occasion, because I came via the hangar and grabbed everything here, got myself as warm as possible, I was actually able to do a recording, do the necessary 40 odd minutes of recording the Aurora progressing across the sky and dawn rising that I could then match to the music that I wanted to. And I didn't get a status change, so I can actually go back and re-record it if I have to, which is nice. But you can't get, you know. So to achieve something as minor as what I was after, yeah, like I said, you've got to take all this into consideration. So what we're going to do is fix everything that we can. Because we want our warmth bonus to be as high as possible. And as you can see, this is taking a significant part of the day. Yeah. So we can get rid of those. Those are where those, fix that. And we will probably end up going through most of I think the cargo pants are actually a better option. Yeah, you can see how fast the day's going by doing this. As I recall, I ended up with a 14-degree warmth bonus, which was enough.
I could eat anything.
And as you can see, we're getting up there. And this is why we wanted all that cloth. And I should probably... Nope, okay. I need cured leather, so what we will do is harvest that. Yeah, you can see how fast the day's going.
Never thought I'd be dying from starvation.
Right, we've actually done pretty good. Stuff him full of unhealthy, hyper-processed food. Sleep through the night. I'm actually going to split this up later into two parts. So me dying in the zone of contamination will be its own little video, and this I'll stick as something else. I'll probably do something clickbaity like speed running to somewhere, which is technically true. So you want to eat as little as possible, because we're gaming the system essentially. And actually I might be able, let's have a look, see what we got. So that's good. I got a 15-degree warmth bonus. That is very useful to have. That's new, that's that. And yep, we're going to basically ruin our That's good. Sports socks, decent wool socks. Should have gotten that. Good. And that's it. That's pretty much as good as I'm going to get. That is actually pretty good. Warmth bonus for what we're trying to do. So we will now just wait, and then I'll show you the final run. Okay, so now we are going to dash for the Mindful Cottage, which has got one of the best, I say one of the best views in the game. It's got a brilliant view for the Aurora, I think. Now the trick to getting to the Mindful Cottage in a hurry is actually quite easy. You follow the road. If you start off in the transfer pass, it's even easier. You literally just follow the road.
Too much stuff to carry.
And the weather's fine. And all I gotta do is try and remember which way I'm going. I think it's this way. But you'll notice that look at the cold meter there. It is very cold. So there's an excellent chance in getting to where I'm going I will start suffering from hypothermia. And all I've got to do now is remember which way I'm going. So here's the road. Obviously. Now I've got two choices at this point. You can just follow the road up and around, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is just dash straight across. Because you will encounter the road again.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
If you go in a straight line. And it is a fairly long haul, even under these circumstances. Technically, I could probably go and have a quick search of that hut over there. In fact, I think I will. Just to give myself a little bit of extra food. Because you may have to spend several days essentially just doing nothing, but you're going to need food and water while you do it. And so we're going to be heading off to the left after I've done this. Yeah, I think I'll deliberately label something that this is deliberately clickbaity just for the fun of it. I don't normally do that kind of thing.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
I don't know if there's any point in my getting cloth, but I'm going to anyway, just in case I find another Hujima what's it. Yeah, Hujima what's it is a technical expression. I might actually need tinder, to be honest. Grab that. Yes, this is worthwhile doing.
I'll be hungry later.
Don't need that, don't need that. Don't need that. Like I say, you're not going to get sprains are turned off for this because, as I said, it's a sort of creative speedrun. Let's see. Painkillers, fishing tackle. Actually, the fishing tackle is useful. You can use it to fix stuff.
This stuff.
I'm going to grab the revolver ammunition anyway because I can't resist. I will almost certainly find a revolver in the Mindful Cottage. Right. So we are going to head off this way. And yeah, like I say, you can take chances that you would never dream of doing in a regular type run. Let's see if I can scramble up here. Yeah, come on. Come on. There we go. Yes. So, we're headed this way. If it was a full-blown blizzard, I probably would not go across country like this. I'd follow the road round. But I don't have blizzards on, but you can still get fog. So if it was foggy, I'd probably follow the road round. It's simply easier. And you can see what I mean. I just run across the road. I have a suspicion when I cut out the bit where I died in that, I think that's probably going to be my shortest long dark video of all time. I don't know, what should I call it? Zone of exploration, dying in the mine. Moment I started getting suffocation warnings, I should have simply stopped what I was doing and ran and exited. Hang on, what am I carrying that's not necessary? I probably could drop a few things, but I'm not going to bother. But it is actually kind of useful to know, if you are in a blizzard and you're in this area, if you find the road, you can get to the airfield relatively easily, and you can get to the Mindful Cottage relatively easily. And I'll be honest, there is a certain freedom in being able to cross this area without having to worry about wolves and bear and moose and this kind of thing. All we're doing now is basically, fighting the weather, and I've got as much on my side as I possibly can. I mean, you'll notice that I'm not freezing to death particularly quickly. But, as I said, the whole purpose of this is for one specific goal. So you want to tilt everything as much in your favor as you can, so you don't have to do what I did and do 4 attempts at it before you get what you want. Which, as I said, was recording the Aurora Borealis from the viewpoint at the Mindful Cottage. Just keep following the road. Sometimes apparently there's a moose that spawns in there. I've never seen it myself, but apparently it can. I think this is the region of the final approach, where they have that big helicopter. Yeah, there's the helicopter. In a full blizzard, or fog, you can go straight past and never realise that's there. But if you see that, it means you're on your way. I don't need to feed him really at this point. I'm just being nice. And we have loads of time. And it is the easiest thing in the world. Just follow the road. It'll take you straight to the cottage. And it looks like we may be getting fog, which doesn't matter. And I know I've said this before, but we have new viewers. So let me just recap. I did start out, as the title says, in the zone of contamination, and I died in the mines. So tomorrow I will start a Stalker run. And again, I said, I would do Interloper if I died during my Voyageur run. Well, guess what? I've tried 6 separate Interloper runs with no success, so I have done my best to do that, and I will continue to try. So tomorrow I'm going to up the difficulty level to Stalker and start a completely new run. Yes, I know I've got an evening. For a while I was running Stalker in the evenings, but I'm going to start a completely new run. And trust me, Stalker is, while it's not Interloper, is a lot more of a challenge than Voyageur. But the purpose of this is a bit of light-hearted fun to show you the kind of things that you do if you want to do a specific one thing in the game. And in my case, it was, again, recording the Aurora Borealis from the viewpoint. Because even that has some challenges. You need to have enough food, you need to be warm enough, and you need to get where you're going. And even with everything in my favor,
So hungry in my life.
yeah, I'll talk more about the recording process later. When we get there. I'm just checking the time. And yeah, you could have just gone straight across country. But, the fog's coming in. Following the road is easier. Why should I make things more difficult? It's very difficult to see, actually, with this kind of ultra easy mode that I've got set. How you could possibly die, but you can still die. Next door neighbour's dogs are barking for half a second. As usual, I thought it was in the game. I don't know whether you can hear that. I am now reminded of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, with the coconuts being used for hoof noises. Because I can hear the deer. I hope they didn't record that with coconuts. Funny thing about Monty Python, I find them more amusing the older I get. When I was younger, I didn't find them amusing at all. Now, hilarious. Trust me, he is almost there. Good thing about this region is plenty of wood. And that's assuming I didn't get enough water. The coffee, by the way, I think, which I did pick up, is very useful, I think, for the purpose that I employed it. And there's the Mindful Cottage. Maybe I ought to start a playlist, A Creator Explains. You know, how I've done certain things in order to do things. With the channel, I mean. Don't know whether that would be of any interest. Anyway, so here's the Mindful Cottage. And yeah, this is a fantastic view, which you can't see at the moment. Which is sort of amusing. Right, now we just raid this place.
All this gear is slowing me down.
That should make life a lot easier. Don't really need that, to be honest. I mean, technically speaking, you could just put everything away, but you get used to carrying everything on your person, so that's what I'm doing. Didn't need to pick the pot up because there was one there, which I might remember next time.
That'll come in handy.
And there's a skillet over here. And the pièce de résistance is the loose boards, and there's normally a revolver in here.
Just what I need.
You don't need the revolver. Right, let's see what I can fix. So let's just... Oh, I do have another sewing kit. I didn't realise. Okay. Didn't realise I picked up 2 sewing kits.
Anything right about now.
And yeah, we got glimmer fog. That still happens. And I will tell you now that 17 degrees centigrade warmth bonus I'm seeing, I think that's the best I've managed to do in this kind of run. 18 degrees, no less. And let's see. Yep, I think that will bear repairing. $19 degrees. I think it's kind of amusing that the flight jacket gives you a 2.8 degree warmth bonus. So that's repairable. That's good. That's good. Good, good. Yes, those are new. Those are new. Let's see if we got anything better. No, no, no. I don't think so. I would be very amazed if that ragged plaid shirt gives me any bonus. No accessories. So, and don't worry about your fact that you're slow. It doesn't matter at this point. Oh, and there's mucklucks. I forgot about those. And so what we are waiting for now is one Aurora. We'll wear those, tear those down.
I just need to close my eyes. Please, please, please. I just want to sleep.
And technically what we're doing is waiting
Something to eat.
Is waiting for the Aurora at this point. Now, ideally, he's the insomnia might not be the best circumstance, but what we do, if I want to get that recording, is sleep in 2-hour batches, because auroras can start at the beginning of the night or late night, and we don't seem to have an aurora, which is fine, absolutely fine. It can take a few days to get one, and we do have an aurora.
All I can think about is food.
Well, I'm not actually going to do a recording, except for this. You can see why this is worth recording. Strangely, when the first recording I did have the full moon there. It looks better without the full moon, to be honest. And here is your basic, well, next thing you need to do, if you just want to make a recording of the scene and not make it too like a video game, what you want to do is go into options, go into, I think it's visuals, and you switch off nope, that's not it. You want to switch off the heads-up display, and you want to switch off the subtitles, because for the recording purposes, that's what you want. And then, hands off, start the recording process. Now, the thing to bear in mind is you've got to be warm enough, essentially, to survive however long you need for the recording. Now, I had a very specific goal when I did this. By the way, I'm amazed I managed to do it straight off. Okay, I've got a bit more experience of doing it now. But for the actual video that I did, which is called Aurora and Aurora, that is 32 minutes 24 seconds. That's how long the music is. So I need 32 minutes 24 seconds of recording time to and half an hour in the game is quite a long time to be standing around doing nothing. And during that time, you will start dying. And so having that warmth bonus, very, very important. A few degrees cooler, and say you're down to 11 degrees, you stand a chance of dying during the recording, and then you've got to restart the whole thing, because as part of the dying process you get status updates which triggers an automatic save, so you can't just reload and go back. But yeah, that looks better without, from a presentation purpose, in my view, that looks better without the full moon. And this is a, yeah, if I started recording this now and did it for half an hour, I would probably still be alive, and you would get the dawn. In fact, in the recording I did for Aurora and Aurora, you actually do have it fading into dawn as well, which is okay. It's not perfect, but it was all right from a point of view of what I wanted to do. So that's how you do it. I am actually going to keep this in case I do need to make another recording. But you definitely want the heads-up display switched off. It would be kind of nice if you could have a slow sort of pan. Very slow, just progress across the whole scene and back. But I don't have the skills to do that, so and like I say, it took me, I think it's at least 4 attempts to get half an hour of recording time. And with the heads-up display on, I can't open the door. There you go. The other thing I found handy was, I don't know whether it really helped, but I did it anyway, was I made sure I drank coffee right before, not me personally, Mackenzie, right before I started the recording. Well, I had 2 things. One, I made sure that I had actually, my sleep meter was as high as I could get, because I didn't want a status update when it dropped down to 0. Made sure he was well fed, made sure he wasn't thirsty. All that, you've got to make sure all that's lined up, because you don't want that status update to force a save. And like I said, during one of the attempts, I did actually die during the recording. I actually went off and made lunch while I was doing it.
I could eat anything.
And what you end up spending your time doing, bearing in mind your whole goal is to dash through this as fast as possible, is in order to... Suppose I had arrived, there was no Aurora. Okay. What you do. Now, if you were playing the game, you'd go out, you'd get wood, you'd make water, this kind of thing. But you don't want to do that, because you've got one goal, to get that recording. And so, therefore, you end up just...
anything right now.
You just end up speeding through the... basically just resting through the day. And because what you want is the nighttime, and then you only want to sleep in very short periods, so that the moment the Aurora starts, you're in a position to get moving. But we can improve our situation slightly. We will fix our mucklucks. Oops, repair. So I think they're some of the best boots in the game. I could be wrong about that.
I need to find food.
Right. So yes, you see I'm up to 19 degrees. That's pretty good. That'll keep you alive during the Aurora. That's fixed. That's fixed. That's good. That's good. Don't have anything better than those. Let's see whether this makes any difference. Don't think it does, but it's worth a try. Yeah, it doesn't help me. Yeah, doesn't make any difference. Well, it actually registered as a bit of a drop. It's kind of funny. Oh well, at least he's stylish under his parka. I still find it funny that this. Actually, I wonder. Yeah. Now he gets to look stylish as well as warm. Who would have thunk it? Anyway. Oh, and if you want to force a save, of course, do something like that. And now I've forced a save, I can exit, and I've got a good starting point for whatever I'm going to do next from this location. Again, purely for the sake of recording purposes. So, and remember the changes you made to your settings so that you can put them back with the next time you start a run. Anyway, I hope that was mildly entertaining, if not informative. And the reason I sound like this is coming to an end is because it is. I've done what I intended to do. I died, and I did a bit of light-hearted, here's how to speedrun in the Forsaken Airfield. And I will, later on, split this up into 2 separate videos so that if anybody wants to rewatch my death process, you can have it. That was interesting. But this, I tell you what, this is going to be saved, just in case I do need to make another recording or something like that, because it's a useful thing to have. I can, come here. I know he's ready. I know he's got food. He's got water. I mean, look at all the food he's got. That will last him a few days. You do want the coffee, as I said. All this. Yeah, this will probably last him a few days. And if necessary, I can, I don't know, go out and get cattails or something. But yeah, from the point of view of a run, he's pretty much. It's more cloth if I need it. Actually, do you know what? I've got a few minutes, so what we'll do is we'll start dropping stuff off. Oh, yeah, I forgot I had those. And that brings his weight down to a much more acceptable level. What else can I drop in while I'm thinking about it? Don't really need that. Doesn't need this. Doesn't need the bandages. Keep the books. I think I've got enough cloth, don't you? I probably don't need the emergency stim. Definitely don't need that. Don't need the flare. Hang on to the Go Energy drink just in case you want to give yourself that boost. You don't need the lantern fuel. You don't really need the magnifying lens, to be honest. Keep your tinder. Get rid of those, because you're not going to hurt yourself. Keep the food on you, because that's what I always do. Yeah, look at that. I've almost got myself down to a sane weight. So, hopefully that's everything I need and not everything I don't. I don't need this, because I'm not going anywhere. Hey, look at that. But, yes, one last thing. Oops. Oh, look at him. Gambling like a spring lamb. Yeah. It is a heck of a view from here. I don't have any charcoal. Yeah. Drift Island. It's over there. That's a very good place in the game. You can't quite see the float plane, which is more or less straight ahead of me, but that's a great place to shoot the bear from. There's another bear over in that direction, and you can just about see the airfield from here. So you can see why it was a desirable location for me to make a recording from. Right. So tomorrow I will start an interloper run, all brand new. Not interloper, sorry, Stalker run. And sorry, what's in the mine? Past where you died? It's a mine, tunnels, places to suffocate, that kind of thing. Keep an eye open. Later on today, I will post that as a separate part of the Voyageur playlist. This will actually be taken off the Voyageur playlist, put into just live streams, and then the dying part will be what ends up in the Voyageur playlist. So I now have to get on with the rest of my day, and I can't stand the idea of not saving him with at least some food in his stomach. Hope that was mildly entertaining. I was entertained. Not sure do I really want to start another run? Actually, yes, I do. Yeah. I don't know whether I'll last 500 days like last time. But at least I got the achievement. So, I will be back in about 12 hours. Unless like yesterday, my nap takes me over. But should be back in about 12 hours to run Warframe, where I will probably be soloing, or maybe not soloing, but I'll be running railjack missions because they're fun, and they have this interesting switch sometimes between the railjack shooting at other ships and then transitioning into something which is very much like a more conventional mission, which is an interesting thing. And things can happen like the enemy boards you and starts killing your crew, that sort of thing. So I will do that in almost exactly 12 hours. So that'll be 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. 7 o'clock British Summertime. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a very good day. And for the Warframe players out there, remember to hug your Kubro. Kubros need love as well. A Kubro is for life, not just for combat. Be kind to animals and children. Be excellent to each other. And I will see you all next time.